What's going on, y'all? Now, I'm not even gonna talk about the game that's happening Sunday. Not even gonna talk about that yet. I only want to talk about these two quarterbacks. And if you see the title of the video, then you know what I'm talking about. So, um, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning had real classic battles over the years. They really had classic battles. I think Tom Brady was 11-6, 11-5, or whatever, like overall. But he was 2-3 in playoff games against them, and I think he was like 1-3 in conference championship games. So those two quarterbacks had like classic battles together. Those two are, you know what I'm saying, Tom Brady is 1. I think Peyton Manning is probably 3. 2, maybe 3-ish. Between 2 to 4, you can just interchange them or whatever. But, you know, with these two right here, ever since 2015, after Peyton Manning retired, you know, we were all thinking that, you know, this is going to be the next big matchup. You know, only thing is, you know, that they were in different conferences. So it wasn't like they can play each other every year like how Tom Brady and Peyton Manning was, or how Tom Brady and Andrew Luck were doing, and how Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady were doing whenever Patrick Mahomes arrived, you know. And so with this matchup here is, you know, we all thought that these two was gonna meet up in the Super Bowl. I mean, ever since, you know, Tom Brady went over to the NFC side, you see how now they're playing each other twice? Because they played each other in the regular season. Like, that's how I think I think they're going to play each other in the regular season too, next year. I think they're going to do the same thing. You know, so, honestly, with these two right here, their careers have been different for a few reasons. Right? Tom Brady, I think, is the greatest quarterback in the world because of the 6 Super Bowls, and he takes advantage, like, he always takes advantage of weaknesses, and he's a mastermind on the field. And no matter who, it's like no matter who he plays with, no matter who he has on offense, they're gonna make them superstars, a la Wes Welker. You know, who was he before he got to the Patriots? You know, I can name who. Troy Brown didn't get a Pro Bowl until Tom Brady became the quarterback. Troy Brown got his one and only Pro Bowl off of Tom Brady's, you know, first year. And, you know, who was Deion Branch after he went to Seattle? You know, there's been two receivers that played with Tom Brady got Super Bowl MVP. Deion Branch, Julian Edelman. That don't, like, a receiver winning Super Bowl MVP don't happen often at all. And for two receivers from the same quarterback to win those awards is super amazing. You know, he has the most playoff wins. He has the most playoff home wins. Like, the dude, Tom Brady is just a freak of nature, honestly. And with Aaron Rodgers, he's the most efficient quarterback I ever seen. Like, the dude, he only thrown over 10 interceptions twice in his career. Well, he played 12 seasons, and he's only thrown over 10 interceptions twice. And for his entire career, he's thrown less than 90 interceptions. and for his 12 years of starting, he's thrown under 90 interceptions. He has the highest touchdown to interception ratio ever. And where their careers are totally different is not what they done on the offensive side, but what they had to work with on the defensive side. Like me being a Patriot fan, I've seen it closely. Like Tom Brady benefited from great defenses. And when you have a head coach who's defensive minded, you're gonna have that, because that's your specialty. I don't know, nobody realizes, and I hope people do, but Tom Brady, in his years of playing with the Patriots, had 16 seasons in which his defense were top 10. 10 of those seasons, they were top 5. So I wrote a list down because I want to give y'all the names of who Tom Brady actually played with that had played defense. Richard Seymour, Willie McGinnis, Ty Law, Lawyer Miller, Rodney Harrison, Stephon Gilmore, Vince Wilfork, Gerard Mayo, Hasante Samuel, Darrell Revis, Mike Vrabel, Teddy Bruschi, Dante Hightower, Devin McCourty, Brandon Mayweather, Chandler Jones, Aqib Talib, Jamie Collins, Andre Carter, and Malcolm Butler. All 20 of those names were either Pro Bowlers and or All-Pro players. Like, if it's one thing that, that Tom Brady can say is that a lot of times, he wasn't the player, it wasn't his fault if they lost games. You can say that a lot of times in his career, because there were games where defenses probably scored, 10, 15 points. Like, there were 10 times it was their defense, his defense was top 5. And so it was just a matter of Tom Brady not fucking it up. And I think he's the most accomplished and the greatest quarterback of all time. But I think for years, for the sake of argument, there was a legitimate argument that could have been made that Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady. Only because for as bad as his defenses were, matter of fact, I wrote down the names of the defensive players that Aaron Rodgers played with too. Charles Woodson, Nick Collins, HaHa Clinton-Dix, Julius Peppers, Clay Matthews, Za'Darius Smith, Tremont Williams, Sam Shields, Kenny Clark, B.J. Waha, and Jair Alexander. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Only 12. So he only played with 12 defensive players that were All-Pro or Pro Bowlers. 4 of these players played in the Super Bowl with him. And after that, that's the season after that, he didn't play with only Clay Matthews was his only defensive player who made a Pro Bowl up until probably 2016. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers is really one of the greatest quarterbacks ever because he didn't lose any games because of him. There were plenty of seasons where that offense was top 5, top 10. And the reason is, defense win championship is a real quote. Aaron Rodgers has won Super Bowl, and that was because he played with a top 10 defense. You know what I'm saying? So Aaron Rodgers really benefited, Tom Brady really benefited from just having a great defense his entire career. And even with him, playing with the Bucks is number one in rush defense. Even though the Bucks is 22nd, 23rd in pass defense, but that defense they have two phenomenal inside linebackers. They have a great young defensive backcourt. Like he has a real good defense, and I've always thought they were good. It was just I was shocked that they finished 7-9, and what a coincidence! The GOAT goes into that same team with no preseason, so he has to learn everything from Zoom and on the fly while he's practicing with these guys, and he gets them in the conference championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't honestly say that his entire career, like, just because he had a great defense, don't mean that he wasn't the reason that he won a lot of the Super Bowls. Like, I think he definitely deserves a lot of the credit for winning Super Bowls. I just hate when commentators just don't include the defenses that he played with. Like, Tom Brady played with some great defenses. It's just that everything meshes together. Like, football is the ultimate team sport. It is the ultimate team sport. And when you have a great offense and a great defense, 8 times out of 10, you're going to win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really just happens that way. Because of how great you guys are. So for me, I'm not going to give my take on the game, but I just want to appreciate their careers and where they've been, where it's headed, and what in a great matchup that we're about to get between 12 and 12. You know what I'm saying? It was Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning for many years. And even though it's a long time coming, but now we get to finally see Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in a championship setting. So I'm real happy about this. Honestly, I really am. So